Hi. For years now, the presence of technology in companies has significantly increased. In its office, companies use electronic software such as Microsoft Word and Excel to help its employees to be more effective in their workforce. Today in this video, we'll see how, in a business context, can someone use Word and Excel with what we have covered in Information Technology 2 class and coming to show if the theory is the same as the reality. In fact, this video will show how to do a template for an online form from Module 11 of Word and how to use a pivot table and a pivot chart in Module 8 from Excel. Before beginning the demonstration, I will explain you what is a template. A template is a model in which someone can build it and then after in a form can share it to other person in order that they fill it out. This tool is very useful to collect data in an online survey. First, to build a template for an online form, it is important to make sure that it's saved as a template. To do that, the person has to go in Save As and in the Save As type, click Work Template. It is also important to put the developer on by going in the option and select it. After that, we are now ready to build and develop our own template. For the format of the template, there is different options that someone can use. So someone can decide the format of the page in his or her template by clicking in the size in the page layout and change the size of his template. I can change the page color by clicking in the page color in the design tab. And I can also change the font and the font size of my text by clicking in the font and the font size in the Home tab. Now that I have set up the format of my template, I can now proceed to the content control in the Developer tab. I have different content controls that I can choose from. Let's say if I write first name, I can now decide to choose a content control. Let's say plain content control. Now I can decide what I will write in this content. Let's say click and type my first name as an example, let's say. Now I can create a drop-down list content control. The way it works is that first I click to the content control, and now I can type, let's say click here and select an option. So this will appear as a content. Now I can change the properties so I can have different choice, which is why I decide to take a drop down list content. So I can now, let's say, write daily, and after that I would write weekly, occasionally, and rarely. So I have my different choice of possibility that the person can fill out, and it goes on and on like this. Now that everything is done, I can now protect my template by going in the Review tab and selecting Restrict Editing. So now I can do the options in order to make sure that my file is protected. And there you go, it is protected. A pivot table is a tool to separate a large amount of data in an Excel sheet into a table. A pivot chart is exactly the same thing, but instead of separate data into a table, it is in a chart. In other words, pivot chart and pivot table are like a summary of a novel. These two tools can be very useful in different contexts where someone has to analyze data. First, to build a pivot table or a pivot chart, the person needs to have a sheet of data in Excel, like you can see in the screen. When someone has it, he can now start a pivot table or a pivot chart. Now I go in the Insert tab to create a pivot chart and a pivot table. So I can choose to do it on a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. I can now choose the data that I want to put in my pivot chart and my pivot table by clicking in the checkbox. Now I can design my pivot chart and my pivot table by clicking in the design of one of each and then change the design. Now, as you can see, we have the pivot chart and the pivot table in the same sheet. But let's say if I want to change it, I go in the move chart in the design tab, and then I can put it in an existing sheet or a new sheet. To conclude, we have covered two different topics, which were how to build a template for an online form in Word and how to build a pivot chart in Excel. These topics can help businessmen and businesswomen to be more effective and efficient in their works. With this video, I've shown that the theory covered in Information Technology 2 class is the same as the reality by demonstrating different tools on each subject. Thank you for your attention and I hope you like it.